Mereka belum tahu dengan gambaran lebih besar, lebih dan cita-cita lebih tinggi. Mereka percaya kepada pemimpin mereka, khasnya yang Allah yarham Tunku Abdul Rahman, yang mempunyai satu cita-cita nak mencantumkan semua kita ini yang berberlainan kaum, berlainan agama menjadi suatu bangsa. Dan perjuangan ini tidak berhenti, perjuangan ini tidak berubah, perjuangan ini tidak luntur. Sebenarnya sekarang ini pun, selepas kita sudah banyak jalan, selepasnya kita sudah ada banyak telekomunikasi, selepas kita sudah banyak rupa cara-cara berhubung satu dengan lain, kita tidak take for granted semua usaha perpaduan ini. Sebenarnya bentuk baru kita cipta untuk merapatkan lagi, supaya semua kaum kita ini, semua rakyat di Malaysia ini akan mempunyai satu bangsa, bangsa Malaysia dan satu Malaysia. Inilah asas perjuangan kita yang menyuruh kita dapat maju, dapat berjaya dalam membangunkan negeri ini, membangunkan negara Malaysia ini. Kalau bukan ini, mungkin Malaysia sudah pecah dalam tahun 69. Kerana ada orang membawa corak politik yang tidak peduli lagi dengan soal perpaduan, hanya ingat dengan kuasa. Kita tahu dalam golongan negara-negara yang sudah membangun, yang baru-baru membangun, kita nampak banyak negara rosak, ada yang berperang sama sendiri sebab mereka tidak mengutamakan soal perpaduan. Dan negara-negara ini tidak maju, tidak dapat membangun sebab mereka tidak mempunyai asas yang kuat, sebab mereka tidak boleh menggamblingkan tenaga rakyat untuk bekerja bagi diri mereka sendiri. Inilah asas perjuangan Barisan Nasional. Inilah yang memboleh saudara-saudara semua sekalian dapat berfikir, dapat mempunyai inspirasi, dapat mempunyai cita-cita untuk bekerja, dapat lebih senang sendiri, dapat negeri lebih maju, dapat lebih senang. You all have confidence, you work hard, you'll get your reward in better prosperity. Without unity, tanpa ada perpaduan ini, coba nak kerja. Hari ini kerja untuk, besok hari belum tahu. 1 tahun, 2 tahun, 3 tahun lebih banyak uang, selepas itu negeri lengkar sikit, so all the savings be gone. Ada sebuah negara, walaupun negara sudah maju, bila sakit sedikit nak bayar doktor jadi bankrupt. Ini yang kita tidak sedar di Malaysia ini. Kerana kita di Malaysia ini tidak ada masalah besar. This we ought to know. Oleh sebab itu, saudara-saudara, penting bagi kita mengetahui tugas pertama bagi mana-mana corak politik sesebuah negara itu ialah untuk menjamin ada perpaduan yang akan memboleh rakyatnya bekerja, akan memboleh rakyatnya struggle with all their efforts and get the reward for that struggle. We in Malaysia are assured of this. And after 50 years, what do we get? Negara yang dulu hanya mempunyai per capita income 600 ringgit on 1987 ringgit constant dollar. Sekarang ini telah pun muncul dapat menambahkan per capita income-nya lebih daripada 40 kali ganda, 40 times more prosperous than before we became merdeka. Dan bila perpaduan ini lebih baik dan kita coba merapatkan perpaduan ini bawah politik pembangunan, apa yang kita dapat? We get the increase of per capita income from 4,000 to 28,087 ringgit. More than 7 times. And what is our vision? Based on that expectation for unity, our vision is to have Sarawak to have an income of more than 5 times, more than 100,000 ringgit on 87 constant ringgit by the year 2030. Inilah cita-cita kita bersama kerana kita dapat bersatu padu. Inilah confidence kita. Inilah keyakinan kita sehingga kita berani membuat score with the vision to achieve 5 times income, more than 100,000 per capita income by the year 2030. And translated into national aim. Our Prime Minister yang amat berhormat Perdana Menteri kita, Datuk Pehin Najib, sudah berani untuk membawa Malaysia daripada kejayaan middle income group nation yang kita rasai hari ini kepada high income nation by the year 2020 and more after that. Apa sebab? Sebab kita berjaya menjalankan perpaduan kita. Dan sekarang ini kerana sebab kita tahu, kita yakin, walaupun bagaimana cabaran daripada mana-mana pun, we will perform and make ourselves more united under the concept of Satu Malaysia. That is why we have this One Malaysia. It is fundamental. Datuk Sri Najib could have talked more about economics, but he talked first about One Malaysia, because this is the fundamental struggle of Barisan Nation. And that is the reason why we can practice democracy. Many countries, many young countries spoke about democracy over the last 50 years in Africa, in Asia. They could not, most of them could not succeed. Dia tak dapat berjaya. Apa sebab? Kerana mereka lack focus, kurang tumpuan kepada cita-cita dan aspirasi rakyat yang paling penting, yaitu pembangunan. Kalau di Sarawak ini, bila kita mengambil keputusan untuk masuk atau tidak mau masuk sebagai anggota Malaysia, apa yang kita minta? Sarawak, Sabah under the Global Commission mau Sarawak dan Sabah tidak ketinggalan dalam bidang pembangunan, betul tidak? Inilah gambaran yang paling penting bahawa And we have been able to preserve our democracy. Why? Because the rakyat cannot feel so frustrated, so dissatisfied with their own lot that they have no place in the sun. Ya orang main banyak-banyak. Tapi di Malaysia ini, every race has a place in the sun. Tiap-tiap kaum sudah dapat untung, dapat merasa hidup dia lebih baik tiap-tiap tahun. That is why our democracy is safe. Banyak ada masalah timbul dalam politik kita. Tapi kerana kita ada pembangunan, kerana pembangunan kita dapat mengagihkan kekayaan negara kita kepada orang yang miskin, maka the gap between the rich and the poor in Malaysia is still narrow. And people do not feel that we are only working for the rich. In fact, in Malaysia itself, the rich are working for the poor too. This is what we get when we industrialize, when we have the private sector to play the driving force in our economy. Now the government only managed the economy in a rough way, in a fundamental way. Tapi orang yang akan membawa kemakmuran kepada negara kita ialah the private sector. Itulah sebabnya untuk memperkuatkan perpaduan kita semua, kita mahu orang yang akan drive our economic future. Tak boleh only one race. It must be all races. Malay, Chinese, Iban, Bedayu, orang Melayu, Kedasan, Indian, semua masuk. That is the concept of one Malaysia, a united efforts of all races to achieve what the opportunity that this country can give to us all. Understand that. And that is why we have democracy today. What is the definition of democracy? Many people just talk about freedom. That's not the full definition of democracy. Democracy is government of the people. Satu. By the people. Dua. For the people. Tiga. Apa saja kebebasan, whatever freedom we have, we must try to achieve. These three principles must survive. Of the people. Saya balik katakan, kemajuan kita, politik kita di Malaysia ini dan di Sarawak ini khasnya adalah didirikan oleh anak negeri dan negara kita sendiri. Kata, we don't depend on other people. And jadi pak turun. At this stage of the game, we become people who invent new ways of making our country successful. Why? This is called democracy. It is an effort of the people, from the people. It is by the people. Apa by the people? We have an election every 5 years. They elect their representative. Through their representative, the people govern. And that's why our government is by the people too. one fundamental thing that keep all these two going is the third part of democracy. For the people. Some people talk about freedom, some people talk about many things, but they don't talk about for what they do for the people. Under our new Prime Minister, what do they say? Rakyat didahulukan. Betul tak? It is our way, our aspiration to continue to serve the people, for the people, our democracy, for the people, not playing with people's sentiment. Who practices democracy better? The people who shout slogans, or we? You answer that. We. Over 50 years of struggle, we maintain that we are building one Malaysian nation, that our politics is politics reflecting the character of our own people. It is of the people, and we want to continue to have democracy because we want the people to have a say in our government, and therefore government by the people. But what puts all this together is we all struggle for the people. The moment you forget what you want to do for the people and start talking about democracy, demo atas kursi kata apa juga dulu. All theory here and there. Sikit-sikit demonstrasi, sikit-sikit bergaduh, sikit-sikit mau debate. Ada orang minta saya debate. Okey, debate, keluarkan dia punya evidence, dia punya facts dulu. Belum ada keluar lagi dia punya fact. Belum ada lagi dia punya evidence. Apa nak ada debate kalau tak ada asas yang betul? Betul tak? Belum ada asas. Kenapa main tikam lidah is not debate? Orang nak tikam lidah saja akan merosak proses demokrasi. I will appoint someone. In fact, I will appoint Dato' Ahmad Adnan Satim to be on the watch. If there is a debate, tak payah saya debate lah. Saya suruh Dato' Adnan kali tumpuk dia. Orang nak lawan dia. Betul tak? Ini cara kita menjalankan demokrasi. Apa sebabnya kita yang masih kukuh, kita yang masih memperjuangkan soal rakyat, soal pembangunan? Kalau kita tengok, kita perhati kita punya politik dalam masa sejak tahun 2005, there was an effort to deviate, to detour our struggle for the people into theory of democracy. They talk about environment. What about the people punya stomach? That's the first thing we do, bukan tak? Klaim tanah tak cukup. Berapa kekal tanah yang kena rampas perintah? You tell me. Dalam kita semua sini, berapa orang ada tanah kena ambil perintah percuma? Belum ada. Belum. Ada sini? Bukan? Tangan. Ada. Theory, semua theory general accusation. Tidak sebenarnya ada orang bernama susah. Apa sebab dia buat ini? Dia nak buat to destroy the real struggle to perform for the people with a general propaganda. Now, ingat ini, this is the crux of your fight in the election. I call them a struggle between politics of perception only and politics of reality. Politics of perception is a politics of propaganda. Politics of reality for the people is a politics of service. Betul tak? Ada orang fikir bahawa kalau mereka jalan propaganda, bagaimana bagus pemerintahnya, mesti ada tidak baiknya. Kerana kita manusia. For all the success I talk to you about what we achieved, 40 times better prosperity since Merdeka. We have a lot of weaknesses. Banyak orang lagi belum senang. Kalau orang muda sekarang ini yang diperanak masa saya jadi ketua menteri, dia tak tahu apa arti benar-benar miskin. Mereka tidak nampak bagaimana orang kena panau, orang kena kurap di luar bandar. Mereka tidak nampak ada orang tidak cukup makan nasi. Saya tengok semua ini. That is why I feel so deeply for the people. Kalau saja kita yang orang politician ini nampak bagaimana hidup orang yang miskin, kita rasa kerja sehidup saya tak ada gaji pun tak apa. Kerana kita nampak dalam muka rakyat kita di luar bandar satu harapan bahawa pemimpin mereka dapat menukar nasib mereka daripada kemiskinan kepada kesenangan. We have achieved this. I'm old enough to be able to see the change. But the young people, Alhamdulillah, they didn't see the change because they're born in prosperity. Anak kita turun ke sekolah pun pakai kereta sekarang. Dulu orang kerja pun tidak dapat turun kerja dengan kereta. Jadi kalau hari ini orang yang tak pernah melihat kemiskinan yang benarnya, sudah take for granted the prosperity of the country, then you know development is not important. That's why they say development is not important. They think they can divert the attention of our people from the real issue of looking after the people to propaganda to make other people unhappy. Manipulation of perception, memain-mainkan perasaan rakyat, adalah satu bentuk politik yang tidak berasas kepada kesayangan kepada rakyat. Ianya berasas senantiasa atas tamak mau power, mau kuasa. Macam ini rakyat akan ketinggalan daripada menjadi tumpuan perjuangan kita. We stick to barisan politics because we want to serve the people, we want to give people development, not all this issue macam-macam. Memang senang kita cakap sama orang Cina, you be discriminated against. Yes, it's easy. You can tell the Indians they've been discriminated because their parents were, they themselves were immigrants. You tell immigrants they've been discriminated against, easily believe. That's why you find out it's not easy to tell about discrimination among the natives. It's easy to spread the propaganda of discrimination amongst immigrants. But we don't play that. We have tried to get the immigrants to be part of our society instead of awakening in them feeling dissatisfaction and a sense of being discriminated. I've always talked about being the chief minister of not only the Malays or the Mindanao, but all races, the Chinese, the Iban, the Melayu, the orang Ulu, the Indian, and all the other races. But the other side, they find out, oh, Chinese education will be neglected. Betul ada. I'm fighting. We're all, George and myself, Jabu, we're all trying to get more help in Chinese schools. You know, one time, the Chinese could not invest any money in this country, in Sarawak, because of the native land system. They keep their money outside. They keep their money in Canada, in Australia, in Taiwan, anywhere else. Not because they don't like Malaysia, not because they don't like Sarawak. There was no place to invest the money. And that is why we, the Sarawak government, say, look, we don't want the money of Sarawakian to be wasted and not used in their own country. That's why we have a land reform. People don't understand this because you feel it's quite smooth. That is why today, who owns? People who used to keep money outside before because no chance of investment are now investing in our palm oil plantation, in our sawmills, in our factories, because there's more chance for investment. That's how we want to unite the people. That's why we want to build how we build the country. Don't tell me this is an act of discrimination against the Chinese. No. The Chinese know. If you compare the life of the native and the Chinese, who's more prosperous? The Chinese. And I owe no grudge to the Chinese for being more prosperous. To me, it's a work that's getting less difficult. The work is more difficult. Some of the natives were poorer. I've got to go extra effort. And I've got to tell them, saya terpaksa bercakap lebih banyak kepada bumi putra supaya mereka dapat sedar nasib mereka dalam tangan mereka sendiri. Mereka mesti berusaha. Negeri ini memberi special privilege for the native to give it a starting point. We don't deprive the non-native of any opportunity to share in the wealth of this country. No, tak ada. Sebenarnya, saya sendiri telah pun menggalak supaya orang peniaga daripada orang bukan bumi putra pun patut diguna entrepreneurship mereka, kepandaian mereka untuk mengusaha macam-macam perniagaan. Kerana inilah cara kita memperkayakan negeri kita ini. Without talents, without entrepreneurship, without skills, without initiative, duit kita tidak jalan. Pada satu ketika, bila saya belum datang ke sini, saya tahu duit pinjaman di Sarawak tidak dapat, duit simpanan di Sarawak ini tidak dapat dibelanja dalam negeri Sarawak. Terpaksa dibelanja di luar state Sarawak sebab opportunity investment tak cukup. What will mobilize investment? Then you got to ask. I have to ask it because all prosperity depends on the way we can command, the way we can attract investment, the way we can nurse people who got talent, who got initiative, who got entrepreneurship, to make their talents to make more money for our country. Otherwise, the big machinery called the private sector to build a future that is more prosperous will not work, will not happen. All of us in the government has got to think how to balance all this. Nak menyuruh supaya siapa saja yang pandai, orang Cina yang pandai suruh naik. Never have I discriminated. You can ask people. Any Chinese who doing very well with 7 A's, 9 A's, always help. Even before we talk about this issue. In the 80s, 90s already, I want to help. I built new universities. I know, in the beginning, there were not enough natives. So the percentage of Chinese in all these universities will be more than Gurputras, although the population in this country has more natives, right? Why? I'm seeing 20 years ahead. I want to get every citizen in this country to be able to contribute towards their own prosperity. No? Some politician, yes, want to be champion. Why do you have rich people? They criticize rich people. They criticize our efforts trying to get good putras, to be cleverer, to have entrepreneurship, to have new companies. They criticize you. And they think, okay, there was an effort trying to make St. Joseph to become an elite school, a good school, school of excellence. They had a good record to this. Do you know, nobody in Malaysia, nobody in Sarawak in particular will be left out from our education system if you have a private school, right? Because the virtually compulsory education system guarantees every son of Sarawak will have a place in our school, right? So if the St. Joseph become a private school, trying to give the best kind of teaching, pick up the best kind of people, let it be. At least we got somebody, a group of good people. Now it's no longer racial. They're good Iban, they're good Malays, they're good Bidayu, they're good Lana, good Chinese. Who can achieve better results. We've got good researchers in our future. We've got good businessmen in the future. We've got good politicians in the future. We've got good leaders in the future. We'll transform our country. You cannot build a country without a cream of our society being nursed to achieve the best, consistent with the times. All civilization is based on encouraging people with talents to use their talents. You never forget this. That is why we evolve a policy. The period when we want to give everybody a chance to go to school, that's already done. Many decades already, right? What's wrong with having special school? That we give special way of giving opportunities for the best of our people to do much better. You think you mix all the clever people and the not so clever people in one class, you can get the best out of the best school, the boys. Well, I'm sorry to say, it's a fact of life. And that is why most of the parents got money. They want to see their children going to lodge, going to Sekolah Putra, and many other. And today, in Malaysia, as in Singapore, they want the best school to come, so that we don't have to send our children to London, to England, to Australia, to Canada, right? That is the best way to bring Malaysia with top people who can make our country prosper. That is what we have to know. And I'm talking very frankly today. You have to look at the overall structure of our society, our politics, our economics, our education. If we don't see this one, I will not be able to see that we can start with score. Kalau saya tidak melihat bagaimana untuk menggalakkan orang yang pandai dapat naik setinggi-tingginya naik, menerusi pendidikan kita. Kita tidak akan banyak engineer, kita tak akan banyak accountant, tidak akan banyak technical people. I cannot. Saya tidak akan dapat mengadakan heavy industries only all on foreigners punya strength. Tak boleh. Itu sebabnya 12 tahun dulu sudah kita buat, ada Girting University, Swinburne University, minta sama KL, saya kasih 1,000 ekar tanah buat universiti di Samarahan untuk ada Unimas. Bawa sebanyak-banyaknya universiti ke sana. Buat college banyak, buat skill development center banyak. Why? Now you know. Now you know we need. Kalau dengar cakap orang 12 tahun dulu, tak payahlah technical education, susah dapat kerja, dia kata. Chicken and egg question. But we are sincere towards the people. We say, if it cannot be done this year, tak cukup kerja, kita buat saja dulu. Kita support in all the ways. Okay, our people can do. They go electronics engineers work in Singapore, in Penang, in Taiwan, in America. Tak apa dulu. But now we are short of electronic engineers, and we have at least 10,000 people with electronics training having job in Samajaya. You think Samajaya will be launched? You think Samajaya can even exist if we don't have forward planning? We don't have united people policy? If we don't appreciate the talent of the Chinese, the Iban, the Belawi, the orang dulu? Hari ini saya bangga. I'm the Deputy Pro-Chancellor of universities. Few universities. Hati saya terbuka tengok. Sekarang kalau nak kasih sertifikat, Cina ada, Melayu ada, Iban ada, Bedayuh ada, Belanau ada, semua sudah ada. Ini tidak akan berlaku kalau kita tidak mempunyai satu cara untuk menyusunkan kerja kita kerana kita sayang dengan rakyat. Inilah yang kita mesti tahu. All these things yang saya cakap. Do you mean to say that you have done nothing to this country? We in Barisan Nasional, siapa berani cakap? We have done nothing for the country. Barisan Nasional has not done anything for the country. Cakap. Do you agree? We have done something for the country, tak? Yeah. Setuju tak? Now, if we have done something to this country as Barisan National leaders, why should you be defensive? Why should you be scared to speak out? Why should you fight all hours? Lawan kalau orang yang bohong, lawan yang pembohong, lawan pengasuh, lawan yang people who try to divert our politics from the crux of fighting for the people to issues that are highly theoretical on a world level. We're not even equal in the world level yet. To these countries, to this agitation that is introduced from outside. Democracy, government of the people, tapi banyak idea keluar daripada luar. None of the people. It doesn't reflect the aspiration of the people. It doesn't reflect the desire of the people. It is not based on your idea of how to help your people. Tak boleh. That is not democracy. That is not government of the people. Jadi, what do we do today? Kalau you percaya Barisan Nasional telah pun berjasa besar, berjasa besar kepada negeri ini, kepada seluruh Malaysia. Apa yang kita perlu buat? Yang baik jangan sama sekali kita biar menjadi terabai. You never allow anything good, the best in our character, the best in our society to be neglected. Because the only way that our people will come up is if we still have this, the best of what we have been able to achieve, to continue as the foundation for future success. You cakap reform lah, macam-macam change. Semua ini bohong, propaganda saja. What is the real story? We tak payah cakap hal reform. We saw wave of changes with the last few decades that we are in charge, right? We've seen transformation of the country from purely agriculture to that of diversified economy. We've seen how we're going diversified economy to specialize in the strength of economy. That's what score is going to be. We have changes. You know who is best to bring out better changes? I put the word better, not just changes. Changes for the better. It is the people who understand the process of change. Tell me, which of the leaders of the opposition have got experience how to deal with change? Orang Melayu cakap, jauh Pak Awi, betul tak?